Alrighty, 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 alrighty. Sorry, just making sure that that post went through on the old Twitter or X or whatever. I think so. Yes, 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 yes. Alrighty then. Alrighty, alrighty, alrighty. According to the old YouTube, we are live. I barely got the announcement out, and there's already people here. Hello, hello. I'm surprised this game is getting as much attention as it is. But hey, you know what? I'm enjoying the heck out of it. So as long as people are enjoying me enjoying the heck out of it, let's all enjoy together. Why not? I was impressed that that gentleman the other day showed up. Apparently, well, he claims. I haven't had any time to verify it, but I don't know why you would show up in a. It is indeed. It is indeed. I am having a hell of a time with it. But I was amazed that that I had someone that was claiming to be a gentleman that is quite well known on Reddit forums for being a discoverer of secrets of this game. He left like a ton of comments on my Suzerain videos, giving advice. Now, while I do appreciate the advice, I kind of want to try and play this the way I would be intended. Although he did point something out to me that I was not aware of, and that was that you can apparently go into the negatives with your government budget. But that being said, overall, I kind of want to try and play this like straight, as in the way I would want to sort of play it as a character. But anyway, I'm not going to spend like 5 minutes as a preamble, as I've been doing with this game. Let's just get right into it. Back to where we left off. This was just after the attack, and we were ratifying the new constitution and passing it around for review, as I recall. So this is the start of the ratifying of the new constitution. Reform Committee started preparations. Vice President Vectorn reported that, along with Lucien Gallade, the committee has started working on the written aspects of the package as per the needs outlined previously. They will soon get the legal team involved to complete the writing process. The needed 150 signatures for the proposal has started to be collected within the USP. As the morning sun streamed through the window of the presidential office, an imminent meeting loomed on my agenda. In a quarter of an hour, I was set to discuss the Energy Protection Act of 1932 with Ministers Graff, Hall, and Vichy. The recent abrogation in the Grand National Assembly, coupled with ongoing dialogues with Gassam, had only served to amplify the discourse surrounding the legislation. I was sipping my morning coffee and enjoying a quiet moment of solitude when David arrived, characteristically early. A very good morning to you, Mr. President. I trust I'm not imposing by arriving ahead of schedule. Not at all, David. On the contrary, we've now got an extra few minutes to strategize before the meeting. Given the serious topic we're addressing, an early start might be just what we need. Gesture towards the seat. These two seem like kind of like the same answer, with just like a little bit of slight difference in wording. That's a little too informal. Let's remain polite. Yes, let's come off as a very serious-minded person. Given the serious topic we're addressing, an early start might be just what we need. I appreciate your understanding, Mr. President. It's high time we address these pressing matters regarding the EPA. I depart earlier for my appointments nowadays, as the stairs to the Capitol have become more of a challenge than I would like to admit. Getting old. We all get there. Sooner or later, we all get there. Hello, hello, hello. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Nice, this time on time. Yeah, I know my streaming schedule is a bit random and erratic, so it's definitely hard to keep up with me. If I was more of a professional, I would probably have regular hours, but as it is, I kind of stream whenever I feel like it, so I apologize for that. But I'm always glad when people make it in, even if only for a few minutes. It's nothing to be ashamed of, David. Would you like some coffee or tea? Well, David, it's not like the stairs we're battling, but the relentless march of time. The Maroon District and the ministerial buildings are dispersed in a very artificial way. No wonder it takes longer. I'd like to clear my mind before the ministers arrive. I have a Discord? Yes, I do, actually. I don't think I have any active invites. I can just give you my @ and you can add me as a friend. I think it's just... Give me a second, let me double check. I think it's just straight up SquidCoyote. I don't think it's anything crazy or fancy. Oh, that's YouTube letting me know I'm live. Thank you, YouTube. I wouldn't know I was live unless you told me. Let's see. Yeah, I think it's pretty much just straight up SquidCoyote. Hello, hello. Hello. Wow, there's so many people here. Hello. I was not expecting so many people for a random stream, but hey, apparently Suzerain is that awesome, so... where were we? This would be the kind of answer I would actually give. Straight up. Well, David, it's not the stairs we're battling, but the relentless march of time. We're all getting old. Yes, we'll go with that one. Reflecting on the years I spent within these walls is a journey in itself. From the time my father first brought me here during the reign of the king, right up to the present, I often ponder what will endure of our actions and identities. Do they hold any significance in the grand scheme of things? His gaze drifted, locking onto something beyond the window. A colossal zeppelin traversed the sky above the maroon district. For a fleeting moment, it blotted out the sun before gently veering to the left, letting the light flood the office once more. I still remember the first airships in Swordland. We purchased them from Ganal after the war, during the birth of what Saul called the Second Republic. Our infrastructure lay in ruins, and those zeppelins offered a much-needed lifeline, a chance to traverse and rebuild. And then, thanks to our research council's diligent efforts, we started manufacturing our own in Gelsard. It's fascinating to think how much we depended on foreign help after the war. We've come a long way since then. The manufacturing of Zeppelins in Gelsard was truly a turning point. Do you think we might have leaned too heavily on Zeppelins for our transportation needs? Perhaps we should have invested more in rebuilding our roads and railways. Yes, they were actually quite. I was actually mentioning that at the beginning of the stream. I have no reason to think anybody would show up on this basically tiny little 200 some odd subscriber channel and exaggerate something like that. So it was quite impressive. I mean, not that it's not impossible, but I wouldn't imagine there would be anything to gain from popping up in here and bragging about something like that. What would you have to gain? What could you possibly gain? So definitely impressed with those stats. Funny is, I got here when I searched for RimWorld content, and I was like, alright, sounds nice. Really? I'm a good voice actor? I appreciate that. I really do. I do my best. I am but a humble amateur. I just try to do the best with my amateur skill. I try and emote as best I can, but I really do appreciate the compliment. Thank you. One second, I gotta cough and clear out my throat because I got a scratch back there. Okay. Oh, sorry. Didn't mean to crank that. I hope I didn't hurt anyone's ears. Yeah. Yeah. A little bit of a scratch there. Got a little bit of liquid. That's neat. The more the merrier, I always say. Yes. Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. I'm gonna assume this is kind of like, I'm not seeing a lot of I don't know. The Zeppelins thing in the real world kind of turned out to be not necessarily a good thing. There was at least one major accident involving airships and whatnot. This is, of course, a fictional world, so I don't know about how that turned out in this world. Kind of lean towards number one. Zeppelins worked very well. Putting hydrogen in Zeppelins was a bad idea. Perhaps. It's fascinating to think how much we depended on foreign help after the war. We've come a long way since then. We were in a desperate state then. And remember, it is often in our darkest hours that we find the strength to rise again. Our reliance on others was temporary, a stepping stone towards the self-sufficiency we achieved with the National Autarky Plan. Even though it had downsides, I still consider it a success. Pause fell over the room. David's gaze landed on the portrait of Tarkin Saul hanging in the presidential office. His eyes lingered on the stern face of the old leader. A sigh escaped his lips. Now, when I think of the EPA, my mind is carried back to the formative years of post-Civil War Hall-Sword in the 1930s. The debates, the passion, potential for transformation. It was a time of renewed optimism. It is our duty now to learn from the past and strive for a better future. What applied back then won't apply now. Hi, thanks for popping in and saying hi. Appreciate it. You give the character a life like how I imagine they would sound. Well, I appreciate that. Thank you. I do try. I do try my best. I at least want to try and give them emotion, life, bring out a performance of it. By the way, I checked Steam statistics. I am now just on place 2 for hours played. I wonder who has you beat. Somebody just farming stats? Yeah, I thought so. Someone out there is upset about you stealing their record. I can see why the Energy Protection Act was so crucial at the time. We had to safeguard our energy sector from foreign interference, especially in the context of the post-Civil War economic situation. Life in Hallsard back then was tough. Electricity blackouts, ruined infrastructure, unemployment, gangs. I remember that Saul's pardons to armed rebels did a lot to quell the rampant unrest. By the way, I checked my balls. It is missing meow meow. What the fuck? What the hell? Hello guys, new faces and long time no see Squid. Yes, apparently this game is earning me new friends. The more the merrier, I say, as someone else said before me in this very chat. Hello. Let's go with number 1. Yes, the EPA helped ensure that the sector remained under our control, limiting the extent of ownership of foreign powers such as Rumburg or Lesbia. Despite the controversies, it was crucial to our recovery and has helped us maintain our energy independence to this day. I did not agree with all of the measures enacted by the technocratic government of that era, but some were undeniably effective. In the end, it took a collective effort to reassemble our nation's fragmented pieces. I'm sure you remember those dark days yourself. I know you were just a student at the Havin Business School, far from Hullsword, but the armed rebels did reach your area. It was a surreal time, studying business principles while chaos ensued just a few miles away. Those disturbances did not deter me from my studies. In fact, they reinforced the importance of my education. Ayo, sacred, long time no see. Especially wisely, what you up to? Alright, now let's go with... It was a surreal time, studying business principles while chaos ensued just a few miles away. Stability and order is important to our nation, yet sometimes disorder is necessary for change. David turned towards the large framed portrait of his father, Artur Sonoko Wisi, hanging on the wall. Painted with rich, warm hues, it captured the first president of Swordland in his prime. A spark of determination gleamed in his eyes, and his mouth was set in a gentle, firm smile, a reflection of his belief in a better future for our country. Your father's legacy still looms large. Has it influenced your own views? Swordland wouldn't be what it is today without your father. Artur S. Wisi. It's a shame that such an influential man died under such tragic circumstances. Yes, my father's leadership laid the foundation for the Swordland we know. His policies were aimed at building a secular and democratic state where every citizen's rights are protected. Well, that's not a democracy you're talking about, sir. I beg to differ. Democracies don't respect anyone's rights. He believed in a Swordland that was modern and forward-looking. Everything he did was aimed at fostering progress, even his controversial embrace of foreign ideologies. He looked back at the portrait with a mix of pride and sadness. In a way, Tuckin's soul did carry on my father's legacy. Under his leadership, we transitioned from military government to a civilian one, and experienced our first multi-party elections. But over time, he drifted away from the ideals of reform and progress that my father held so dear. His visionary zeal succumbed to the more pragmatic, more conservative, and sometimes even regressive dictates of political survival. Perhaps history would have taken a different course if the Ism incident hadn't. Still, one must credit Tarkin's soul for extricating our nation from the ashes. In retrospect, an earlier resignation might have been beneficial. His ingrained traditions seem to have done more harm than good in the long run. Keep listening. I want to hear him talk. I'm going to let him keep talking. I kept listening to him. Alfonso, for all his flaws, did seek to set the nation back on a path of progress with his focus on a free market and economic liberalization. His EPA amendments, for example, were a severe departure from Saul's national autarky plan, but many praised the way it opened the doors for unprecedented foreign investment in our energy economy. The non-aggression principle? The NIP was a cornerstone for our post-war recovery, and I wonder, could we have done more with it? First, it was the State Educator Corps, then the SSC bills, then slowly the EPA. He wanted to erase every trace of Tarkin Sol's Second Republic. Those same amendments also opened the door to corruption. Do you think the EPA still holds relevance today, or should we consider a complete overhaul? I heavily disagreed with the move at the time. Even as executive vice president in 1946, Alfonso simply tried to change the country too fast. That seems to be we're trying to change the country. That seems to be a little bit too much of an extreme answer. That seems to be like kind of the opposite. Accelerate even more. So these seem to be the ones that I would lean towards. And actually, is this game a visual novel or something? I believe in the Steam store it's called an adventure game. I'd have to double check. It is, if you're a weeb, yeah, you're probably gonna call it a visual novel. But I'm really liking the whole like this isn't this is not about some waifu stuff, so it's a good change of pace. I like me some waifu visual novels as well, but this one definitely got me. This one definitely got me. Without anime tits. All right, so what you're saying is we need to mod it then. Change all of the characters to waifus. Okay, boys, you know what we need to do. Warning, warning, old men. There's of course there is. Of course there is. Why wouldn't there be? Why wouldn't there be a mod for that? Do you think the EPA still holds relevance today? Or should we consider a complete overhaul? The EPA has its roots in a different era. While some of its principles may still hold, we must not shy away from revising it in light of our current needs and challenges. Just as the conversation hit a pause, the door swung open, and the other ministers arrived. Simone Hall entered first with a confident stride. Good morning, Mr. President. David, I trust the discussion is progressing well. Lilius followed closely behind. She walked in with an air of calm authority, her gaze sweeping across the room. Gentlemen, I hope I'm not interrupting anything crucial. Welcome, everyone. It's great to see you all here. We have some important discussions on the agenda today, particularly concerning the Energy Protection Act. Thank you, David. I appreciate the urgency. Let's get right to the heart of the matter. Indeed, it's a critical issue that we need to address. I look forward to hearing everyone's perspective. Proceed. Thank you, David. I appreciate the urgency. Let's get right to the heart of the matter. Today, we have the opportunity to shape the economic strategy of Swordland for decades to come. The EPA has long stood as the key contention and debate point of the National Autarky Plan. This matter is a discussion of how Swordland sees itself and how we position ourselves in the world. Our nation has taken very different economic approaches in the last 4 decades. Mr. President has decided to lean on promoting a market economy, which should give us a clear indicator. Should we decide to increase the EPA threshold to 49% or eliminate it entirely, it could spark an influx of foreign investment. Given our current economic predicament, this would be a significant boost. Promoting a market economy does not inherently translate to prosperity for all. It can lead to a concentration of wealth, with the rich getting richer while the middle and working classes struggle. We need to ensure that the benefits of economic growth are shared equitably across all layers of Swordish society. She's spitting them words. She's spitting them words that are kind of giving me red flags. Sergi? Sergi. His name is Sergi. I'll remember that, Sergi. Because I've been calling him Sergey. And no, that's not... yeah. Also, that scene with him was badass. Dude went full on Max Payne. That was a cool scene. That was a cool scene. I'm glad I did not escape in the helicopter or out through the back of the building. Dude was about to go full Max Payne 3. All Mr. Streamer's fault. Okay, you can blame me. I pronounced it because that's how I read it. Now, I didn't do that on purpose, but I've studied enough of a bunch of different languages that I actually don't know how to pronounce a lot of things. It's actually kind of weird, because like people generally will try and pronounce things based on the language that they're most used to, but I speak English primarily. I've studied Japanese for a couple years. I know a little bit of Spanish. I know like a little bit of German. I know like some French. Not a lot of any particular one thing, but just enough to fuck up my pronunciation in every language. So whenever I read something I'm not familiar with reading, like my brain reads it in like 5 different ways, and I'm like, And I'm like, Serge, Sergi, Serge, Serge, Sergey, Sergey, Sirg, Sirg. So, if I mispronounce something, I'm not doing it intentionally. I'm doing it because I basically fucked up my ability to pronounce things by studying too many languages. The names in this universe are all spelled wrong on purpose. You will see later with Richter, aka Richter. You know what's funny about this whole conversation you are in? It's a post 2.0 event. It wasn't in the game until like 2 months ago. Really? That's interesting. And it's one of the biggest convos. And others if you look carefully. I kind of suspected that there's supposed to be analogs for other names. But part of me also thought that they're just random names generated and it really doesn't matter so much as the ideas themselves. I couldn't agree more, Lilius. The welfare of our citizens should be our primary concern. I believe a free market fosters competition, which ultimately leads to innovation and economic growth. Your perspective provides valuable insight. It's important that we consider all potential outcomes. While I respect your stance, Lilius, I must disagree. Lilials? Equitably? That sounds like commie talk to me. There will be no communism in my country, lady. You could take your communism and go move to... What is it? Go move to Vogsland. Or else get thee to a nunnery. Can I tell her to go fuck herself? Take your communism and fuck out of my country, lady. No, let's not do that. Maybe on a future playthrough I'll go like maybe I'll go hardline anti-communism, but for right now, let's play the game. I mean, technically I agree, but given her language, I kind of know what she's getting at, and I don't like it. So I'm not going to agree with her too much. Free market. Yes, I think that's probably the safest one. Because I don't want her to think that I'm giving her too much credit, and I don't like... It'd either be 2 or 4, I think. Playing commie in this game is almost as fun as almost everybody hates commies. Can you blame them? But the conservatives like planned economy, so they're all rhinos? This really is a political game. Can we be Trump though? Can we be Trump? In fact, I'm gonna start doing his voice now. I believe a free market fosters competition, which ultimately leads to innovation and economic growth. I don't say that. I don't say that. People come up to me at my rallies and they say, President Squid, you're doing such a great job with the economy. And I say, well, thank you. That's quite kind of you. I don't say these things. These people say these things to me. There is an achievement called Make Sortland Great Again. Okay. Now you've given me a goal. I'm gonna have to figure out what the parameters for that are, and I'm gonna go hard for it. I'm a commie. Why do people hate us? I understand your point of view, Mr. President, but we must also consider the potential pitfalls of unregulated capitalism. Did I say unregulated? When did I fucking say unregulated? I just pushed back against your we need to put equity. I heard that word equity, and I know exactly what you meant. You can Mott and Bailey all you want, but I heard those words, and I know what you're thinking. The achievement is about crushing terrorism. Okay, crush the terrorists. Got it. Mr. President, Lilius, shall we return to the subject of the EPA? Our current version of the Energy Protection Act dates back to 1949. President Alfonso's amendment raised the cap on foreign investment in Swedish energy companies up to 20%. In my view, it was a necessary step to attract foreign investment and stimulate our economy. We must remember that Sordland was facing an economic crisis during this tenure, and these changes provided a lifeline for our energy industries. Wasn't this change a sign of desperation rather than a strategic move? But did the increased foreign ownership actually lead to a substantial economic growth? I must confess, when did the changes to the Energy Protection Act were first implemented, I harbored serious reservations. I share your view. Sol's old policies was choking the growth of Swedish energy businesses. Wait a minute. I'm agreeing with him, but I'm saying that the policy was choking the growth, but he says it was necessary to stimulate the economy. Uh-oh. Unless I'm reading that wrong, we got a goof up here. He's saying it's stimulated. And this line of dialogue seems to imply that the policy was choking, but I'm agreeing with him. Well, it obviously it does, but I'm just saying the dialogue is very awkward the way it puts it. Because if you read it up here, it kind of seems like it's stimulate and then provided a lifeline. So, yeah, maybe I'm reading it wrong. Okay, yeah, I am reading it wrong. You're talking about the Alphonse. Okay, the amendment. Okay, never mind. Yeah, I'm reading it backwards. I'm reading it top to bottom instead of bottom to top. Okay. Nope. I got it. You're right. You're right. You're correct. I'm reading it backwards. But did the increased foreign ownership actually lead to substantial economic growth? Well, the increase in foreign ownership alone didn't lead to a drastic upturn in economic growth. It did have a positive effect. It facilitated foreign investment and provided our industries with much needed capital. The effects of such policy changes often take time to fully manifest, but they lay the groundwork for future economic development. This point right here is actually why a lot of politics is fucked up. Because a lot of people are not going to want to undertake something that's going to do the right thing, because most of the time their term's going to be up before it's seen through. So let's say for example, you push as hard as you can to build a nuclear power plant, right? It's going to provide country power for your entire state if you're in America, or your entire, I don't know what it is in nations that aren't America, your district or whatever. It's going to provide cheap energy for your entire district. But here's the trick. It's going to take 8 to 10 years to get it done, right? Who's going to do that? Nobody. Why? Because your term is going to be up before that thing gets completed, and nobody is going to fucking give you credit for it. They're not going to give you credit for it. You're going to push as hard as you can. You're going to shit on. People are going to fight you left and right. And at the end of the day, some dickhead is going to roll in right after your term ends and be like, look, in my first year, I built a nuclear power plant and now cheap energy for everybody in the district. Elect me for like 30 terms. It's scummy, it's fucked up, but, you know, we can't blame the leaders for it, because it's the people too. Because most people aren't going to be like, you didn't do that. The guy before you did that. No, most idiots are going to be like, oh, look, the guy that just got elected totally built a nuclear power plant in 1 year, even though that's logistically fucking impossible. Makers of communism, it comes too much wealth and people. No politicians will point out what's remiss where there is, but it's an issue for capitalists also what it is. Are we really having a shitpost argument about the merits of communism? Sacred? Really? You're gonna derail chat into an argument about communism? Damn it, Sacred, this is why we can't have nice things. And yes, agreed, it is the state that fucks everything up. That's why I'm trying to remove the government in my game. Hey, maybe I can run for presidency in the future. In my country? No, you're specifically banned from running for presidency in my country. I mean, you're bussy? Did you just say bussy? I mean, you're bussy talking against two walls, aka the Rhino and the Mr. Neo-Lib Graf and Simon. Yeah, I don't like either of them. I don't really like either of them. So, there we go. Well, this doesn't end the debate. Oh, shit, I skipped that part. The Assembly has spoken on this matter, and as it stands, the Energy Protection Act of 1932 will not be repealed. It's clear that our colleagues have recognized the potential risks of exposing our energy sector to foreign ownership. While this doesn't end the debate, it does underline the importance of respecting our Assembly's decision. I don't only respect the Assembly's decision, I wholeheartedly support it. A fair point, Lilius. We must respect the decision of the Assembly, even if it doesn't align with our own views. The Assembly's decision has been made, but that doesn't mean we will stop advocating for what we believe is right for Swordland. It's disappointing to see the Assembly just change this much. Our debate is definitely not over. The Wood Elf country. No, Sacred is just a shit poster. That's why I was making the comment about derailing chat. I saw what he was doing, and I was calling it out. I was calling it out. That's why I tried to derail the derailing with the comment about the bussy. Nah, Sacred's cool. Just a shit poster, but you'll find a lot of the people, a lot of the regulars in the chat are pretty shit posty. It's the kind of folks I attract. You'll have to get used to it. Well, my crowd ass suspected him trolling. Just too much crowd autism to suppress answering. No, I mean, that's fair. That's fair. There's a lot of times where I see some fucking dumbass posting about communism or whatever else, and I gotta respond. Even if I know the poster is stupid, it's because there's gonna be idiots out there that are gonna take that comment seriously. So a lot of times for me, it's just wanting to get in there before the idiots show up and start taking it seriously. Then again, I also am a fan of a good internet argument. So old habits die hard. Yeah, if you see someone in here with a wrench, assume that they're at least a little bit shit posty. It do be got me wondering. You're pointing out a flaw in commie that has that capitalist also suffering, so it's kind of like her there. Well, so what is it? But go back up. This is the thing that I was thinking that I didn't really respond to. What did he say? What screws capitalist system is still the state. And this is true. This is the thing that I hate when socialists and communists argue that capitalism has failed, right? It's like these people all day, every day will be like, well, capitalism has failed. And it's like, do you realize in America why you're paying damn near 50% of your fucking wages and taxes? Do you realize that? Well, because capitalism. No, it's because the state is taking 50% of your fucking wages and just doling it out in entitlements to people. That's not capitalism. Capitalism would be like, well, you can't afford healthcare? Sounds like a you problem. Get a job. You can't afford whatever? Sounds like a you problem. Get a job. Now, as cold and as fucked up as that sounds, you also would have to understand that that would mean you wouldn't be paying fucking nearly 50% of your wages in taxes. So, I would ask anybody, which would you rather prefer? The state to tell you, nothing I can do for you, sounds like a you problem, and charge you basically no taxes? Or to charge you a bunch of fucking ridiculous ass money and then just basically be giving that money to military contractors, immigrants, entitlements for everything else. Like, that's the conversation nobody wants to have. We can bitch all we want about how much money we're paying out to whatever interest groups, but everyone's like, well, taxes is just the problem of living in the country. And it's like, no, you're just okay with it because that's just how you think things should work. To the point, and to what Barron was saying, this is kind of my autism. When people say, well, America's a capitalist country, and I'm like, no, America is not a capitalist economy. It's a mixed economy. It's a fucking mixed economy. We are doling out so much in entitlements and programs and everything else. You can't say that that's capitalism. The ideal capitalist country would be like the state takes enough money to pay for itself, and everyone else, big businesses, small businesses, the citizens, whatever else, you're all left to fend on your own. But nobody wants to live in that place. The communists will complain to hell and high water about how capitalism is so fucked up. But if you remove the entitlements, they'll say that capitalism has failed. I would say that we are moving towards a more capitalist economy if they were doing that. It's all in perspective. Anyway, we have successfully derailed into pure autism here. Well, yeah, I know. I'm trying to sort of break away from the idea of what the popular ideas are. Like, we could spend hours doing this. I don't know. We could spend hours talking about political theory and how fucked up everything is. I'm just trying to make the point. That the current American mixed economy is not what would be considered capitalism. It's a fucking mixed economy. Can't believe I'm here up past 12 listening to people rambling about how commie and US Texas suck ass. Well, you triggered his autism and you triggered my autism. So that's what you get. You get what you fucking deserve. Well, just skip through this long and stupid event and embrace the market. No! I'm almost enjoying my rage at the communist stupidity. Besides, I feel like as the first time through this game, it would be kind of disrespectful to skip it. After all, there might be someone who comes up and watches me stream this game for the first time, and they're like, and they skip to the part where I do the next part, and they're like, "Oh, suddenly this part is over? He didn't even read this part." All right, let's just finish this part. Hopefully, it's not much longer. Fuck you, lady. I respect the decision of the Assembly, Lilius. However, we mustn't allow this setback to deter us from exploring the best possible options for Swordland. The global landscape is ever evolving, and we must adapt accordingly. It is also important to remember that the Assembly's decision is not the final word. There is room for further legislative efforts and executive initiatives. When it comes to the Energy Protection Act, I believe we should consider complete removal. If not, at the very least, we should increase the threshold to 49%. This would undoubtedly attract more foreign investment and strengthen energy institutions such as Gassam and Sworders Petroleum. I'm sure you're right about that. But we have to remember that we're dealing with national security as well as economics. Reverting to the Sol era 10% limit or keeping the law as it is would be a safer approach. We cannot risk our energy infrastructure falling into foreign hands, especially not to Rumberg. I see merit in both your arguments. Yes, we need to protect our national security, but we also need to consider the economic implications. Perhaps a mixed approach would work best. What if we increased the limit to 49%, thereby attracting foreign investment while maintaining Swordish control over critical energy sectors? Kraut equals German, if you didn't know that. How did you not know that Kraut equals German? Well, okay. That's unfair. Vietnamese, it's probably not a common term of parlance. But yeah, America for sure. Probably a lot of English-speaking European nations. Sauerkraut comes from sauerkraut. It's a term that goes back to at least World War II. I think it's probably might even go back to World War I. It's just this assumption that German equals sauerkraut, thus kraut. Now you know the etymology of it. Okay, so it goes way back. Wow. I thought I was being overly generous going back to World War I. Considering potential foreign buyers such as Kunal, Rizia, Anraka, Rumberg, and Lesbia, what are the worst case scenarios that they gain control over our hydroelectric, gas, and oil sectors? Would you even have to ask? You do not want your infrastructure belonging to foreign countries, or even foreign international investor banks. That's a bad idea. Doesn't matter who it is. How would the Energy Protection Act change impact corporations like Gassam, which could sell to any entity under the revised laws? Lilius, you mentioned national security risks. Could you elaborate further on that? Yeah, but I don't like her. How would changes to the Energy Protection Act affect energy prices from Swordland? Profit. Profit. Money, 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 money. Money. What's a serfdom? Yeah, I'm not good at history. How could you tell? Since Germans immigrated to the US after getting rid of serfdom. Serfdom was basically what people lived in under medieval times. More or less, serfs. It's more or less analogous to slavery. In medieval eras, you were counted as part of the kingdom's property. So, if the king owned 10 acres of property, he owned that property and the people that worked that property. Stuff like that. Think of profit for country. For king and country. Prices. Security risks. Impact corporations. Worst case scenarios. How's it going to affect our prices? Tell me about the money. Tell me about the bottom line. With increased foreign investment, we could potentially see a decrease in energy prices. But we should also consider the potential impact on job security and national control of our energy sector. Changing the Energy Protection Act could lead to increased energy prices, as foreign entities could manipulate the market. With increased competition and foreign investment, we could also see a decrease in energy prices. The more players in the market, the more competitive the prices will be. Considering potential foreign buyers such as Canal, Rizia, Raqqa, Rumberg, and Lesbia, worst case scenarios. Wait, are these the same questions? Not interested in these other answers, though. I can pretty much guess what the... I wouldn't need to ask this question. If I was put in this position, I would already be assuming that the worst case scenario is that they try and gain control and thus control of our nation, so we want to avoid that. Nah, skip it. Given the turbulent economic landscape, maintaining the status quo of the Energy Protection Act could offer us stability. We are already open to foreign investment at a 20% threshold. Changing this in percentage may introduce unexpected challenges and could complicate our foreign relations. I firmly believe in the sovereignty and strength of our nation. I don't know, you kind of lean communist, so I don't believe you there. I think you're just trying to protect your interests until you can push for us to ally with the communists. That's kind of what I'm getting from you. I don't like you. Returning the threshold to 10%, as it was during the Sol Era, could protect us from undue foreign influence and ensure that our energy sector remains in Swordish hands. Yeah, so you're a reactionary then, Miss Lilius. Increasing foreign investment could significantly stimulate our economy. A careful increase to 49% could be a balanced compromise, signaling to the world that Swordland is open for business, while still retaining majority control of our assets. We must consider the far-reaching implications of our actions. Today's decision regarding the EPA will significantly impact Gotham and other corporations in the future. Regarding Gotham, our co-investment with Rizia allows us to distribute the financial burden and mitigate risks. This decision promotes regional cooperation, aligning well with our fiscal policies. So, have we got like actual market management in this game, or is it all the talking? You can change policies, companies do the business. It's mostly talking and reading. A lot of reading. A joint venture with Rizia is a strategic move, not a concession. It's a partnership that secures our place in the global energy landscape. Our partnership with Rizia is a testament to our commitment to regional cooperation. It's a pragmatic move that will be beneficial for both nations. Rizia might not be the best partner given our history with them, but we have to take a balanced approach with our budget and economy. Number 2. Number 2. Simon meticulously adjusted his glasses. With Swordland and Rizia co-investing in Gotham, there's a chance to build a partnership that benefits both our economies. However, how we adjust the EPA could significantly impact the outcome. Sharing the burden with Rizia does provide some reassurance. However, if we raise the foreign ownership threshold, we must be wary of the influence of Rumburg. A partnership with Rizia has proven beneficial. I suggest we maintain the current threshold. Let's not make hasty decisions that might disrupt this balance. Perhaps we should consider removing the threshold altogether. It could propel Gotham into the global market and truly maximize our gains. Getting them gains, oats and squats. While your points are valid, Lilius, I can't ignore the potential economic benefits. Raising the threshold could attract more investors and increase the value of our shares. Assets. Well, yeah, probably, technically. Even though we're sharing the investment with Rizia, we should prioritize Swordish control. Let's consider reducing the foreign ownership limit. Oh yeah. Let's keep out Rizia and other nations. But then, hey, here's my friend, the communist nation to our east, that wants to come in and invest on us and be our friend. I'm sure you would totally tell us not to accept them as influential partners, wouldn't you, Lilius? Wouldn't you? Wouldn't you? Wouldn't you? I bet you wouldn't. Yeah, I don't like number 2. That seems like opening the door to too much trouble. These two seem to be like kind of the same answer, and I don't like the 4th one because that's like agreeing with her. In fact, all 3 of these seem like reactionary answers. And that's not like Twitter reactionary. That's like actual reactionary as the term is supposed to mean, reactionary. As in wanting to go back to a previous time. As in wanting to push it back to when control of the energy sector was more nationalistic and less open to investing. So let's go with number 1, unless anybody else thinks I missed something. Too late. Maintaining the current threshold is a safe option, but my preference would be 10% default imposed on the Sol era. It will limit opportunities in the long run, but our state will persevere. The current threshold provides a balance. It allows the current level of foreign investment without risking too much foreign influence. Reverting to the past will lose us too many opportunities. While maintaining the status quo provides stability, it might limit our potential for economic growth and trade relations. We have to consider the long-term impact of our decisions. Foreign investment might bring immediate financial gains, but we'd risk losing control of our energy sector. We should be more aggressive in attracting foreign investment. After all, a thriving energy sector can be a major driver of our economic growth. The EPA has been a safeguard for our national interests, but we must also be open to change. We need to carefully weigh the benefits and drawbacks. Our choices aren't just about the numbers. They hold significant implications for the people of Swordland. We must make our decisions with them in mind. Our priority should be balancing the need for economic growth while maintaining national sovereignty. Perhaps a phased approach to increasing foreign ownership could be the answer. That last one, phased ownership, sounds nice. A phased ownership means you could always pull the plug if things look like they were getting out of hand without going full bore. It's kind of the same answer. Open to change. Way of benefit. Kind of the same answer. More aggressive, so basically we really need to go into attracting money. Another risk thing. So basically it feels to me like all the answers except for number 2 are kind of the same thing. In which case, I tend to gravitate towards number 5, so we'll go with 5. I would say we've covered the implications of your EPA decision fairly thoroughly, Mr. President. Our actions should be guided by the best interests of our nation. Mr. President, it's time for us to make a decision. What will we do with the EPA? Oh! Decision time, decision time, decision time. Alright, and right at 1 hour. So we'll wrap it up here until next time. But we will make the decision first though. So, number 1. Let's remove the Energy Protection Act entirely. We need to drastically open up our energy economy to the world. EPA removed. We will increase the foreign ownership threshold to 49%. This will increase foreign investment, EPA at 49. Let's keep the Energy Protection Act as it is. The status quo has worked so far. EPA kept it 20. We are returning the foreign ownership limit to 10% as it was in the Sol era. Well, I don't want to agree with Lilius, but removing does not sound like a good idea either. Because we were already talking in the previous chapters about international bankers coming in and fucking over our state. So we don't want that either. And now comes the only decision that matters in this stream. So, I'm going to say no on number 1 and no on number 2. So it really comes down, no on number 1 and no on number 4. So it's going to come down to number 2 and number 3. So we either keep it as is or we increase it to 49%. Huh. That is a good question. Do we stay at 20%? Or do we increase it to just under 50%? What do we do? What do we do? What do we do? You said we can change these policies later, right? There's a funny little achievement called Kiss My Gas you get for trolling. So you go with 49? I was kind of leaning for 49. That allows maximum investment without losing control. So we'll go with 49. We will increase the foreign ownership to the threshold of 49%. This will increase foreign investment. A balanced approach will serve us well. This could attract significant foreign investment. It's a substantial increase. I fear we are opening ourselves up too much. Shut up, communist. Nobody likes you. The door to the room opened. Livia Suno carried a tray laden with an assortment of beverages. She was a little clumsy as she maneuvered around the room, refilling cups and glasses with tea, coffee, and water. Where's the rum? Where's all the rum gone? Livia, where's all the rum gone? Excuse me, gentlemen and madam. I've brought refreshments. Where's the rum? Give me the rum. Wow, just straight up be a dick to her in front of the dignitaries. There doesn't seem a reason to do that, unless you want to be a jerk. Coffee. I'm gonna play this the way I'd normally play it. Coffee, black, no milk, no sugar. Coffee, black. And that shit better be piping hot, or I swear to God, I'm gonna smack a bee up. Of course, Mr. President, here you are. As she finishes serving the beverages, Livia retreated towards the door. She glanced around the room one last time before quietly backing out. The meeting resumed, our conversation growing slightly louder over the clink of cups and glasses. While we are here, I will inform you that all I've been lending to my expertise to Minister Benewall in relation to the Workers' Rights Bill. Livia, expert on piping hot. I don't know what that's supposed to mean, but I apparently said something funny unintentionally. Unless I unintentionally said something funny that... If I did, that was unintentional. I believe it is crucial to ensure fair treatment for our workforce, and it is nearing presentation. Your collaboration with Mr. Bennewall is commendable. I hope it will bring about a positive change for our workforce. Workers' rights are important, but we need to ensure that the bill doesn't introduce excessive regulations that could stifle our businesses. I will reserve my judgment until I have a chance to review the bill in detail. Number 1. Thank you, Mr. President. The bill aims to prioritize workers' well-being. It's a step towards a more humane economic system. I share your sentiments, Mr. President. However, we must be careful to avoid encouraging anti-business tendencies. I concur, Mr. President. Ensuring the rights of our workers is paramount, although we must be cautious of any hidden agendas. Anyway, I have been working on our upcoming term budget meeting and a proposal for business taxation changes. Specifically, we're considering a range of 10% tax changes for small to medium enterprises and large corporations. This could be a significant move for our economic landscape. Such a taxation approach couldn't even... Sorry. I'm still trying to figure out what the laughter about the coffee comment was. You're making me self-conscious. I'm very satisfied that we are executing bold changes under this administration. We should be careful of large changes to taxation. They could have unintended consequences. Such a taxation approach could indeed invigorate our economy, but we must ensure it doesn't burden our SMEs unduly. Yeah, I was leaning towards 2. We don't want to go crazy. Because I don't like her, and I don't like him. I don't trust either of them. This guy, David, he seems like a pretty cool dude. These 2, yeah, I don't trust them. Your caution is well placed, Mr. President. As a proponent of global trade and economic cooperation, I too believe we should be cautious about imposing excessive taxes on businesses. In light of the economic challenges we face, increasing taxation could provide much-needed revenue to support crucial public services and social welfare programs. As the ministers rose from their seats, the late morning light spilled into the room through the ornate windows. It seemed to signal the conclusion of the meeting. And thank you for all your insights and collaboration today. Have a great afternoon. Thank you for the discussion. I'll continue working on our priorities. Goodbye, everyone. See you at the term budget meeting. Until next time, dear colleagues, take care and see you soon. And there we are. 90 minutes. We broke the 1 hour mark. We do that occasionally. But I find it's pretty fun to end on these sort of chapter breaks. It's probably why it's taking me so long. If I wanted to just straight up plow through this game, I probably could. But I like to sort of enjoy it and then sort of ingest it and think about it. I am enjoying the hell out of this game though. So what time is it over in Germany, by the way? I may try and make sure that I am gonna stream this at a time when it's more favorable to German hours. Nope. What is that noise? OBS is freaking out. All right, never mind. I guess I won't look it up. Yeah. So for now, I think I'm gonna wrap things up. Check for final comments. Eight o'clock. So it's 8 o'clock right now, and not me. Well, I hope next time is more productive. Well, we told the commies no. And we had a big conversation about communism, so I don't know. Yeah, it was a fun stream. I'm glad you guys all showed up. I'll try and make sure that if you're sacred. So, since you're complaining, what you said you were up past midnight. So I'm assuming going back about an hour. This is late night for you, so it would be what? So if I go back 5 hours from now, so 5 a.m. my time, would that work for everybody? Go back 5 hours from now. Would that be a good time to stream this game? Because for him, that would be probably about 6-7 o'clock at night. For you, that would be what? 15, so it'd be like 3 o'clock in the afternoon. And for me, it'd be 5 a.m. But I keep weird hours, so I'm not against doing that. So I don't know. We'll figure it out. Nah, this time, but probably an hour earlier would work. Okay. So like basically like hour and a half. Okay. So like 8 a.m. my time. All right. So 8 a.m. Pacific Standard Time or before. I'll try and stream Suzerain. And hopefully next time we can deport all the communists. Including Lilius. Because I don't like her. An hour or two earlier than today, yeah. Yeah, I'll try and do that. Anything else, I'll probably stream at random times, but for this game, I'll try and set my hours to like 7-8 a.m. my time. All right. Well, this chapter is over. We are slowly making the march to the end of chapter 1 of Suzerain. I am enjoying the hell out of this game, and I hope you guys are. Well, obviously, if this isn't your first time, I hope you're enjoying it too. And go going back to the comment earlier, I'm glad that people are enjoying me doing the voice acting. I'm just having fun. I'm not even trying to do this as like a thing. It's just like if I'm gonna read a visual novel, I might as well try and make it interesting for the people watching the stream too. That's my whole thing. As long as we're all having fun, that's what I'm about. But thank you all for being here for the live. Thank you everybody checking out the VODs later. You know how this goes. You know how this ends. But every end is just another beginning. I'll see y'all out there. And take her easy. Whatever you do. Yes. Don't forget to press like, subscribe, turn on the bell, the notification, make comments, play Raid Shadow Legends, visit my sponsors. All right, good night, guys. I'll see you out there.